Griffithus1 asks, what is your view on socialized medicine and why do you feel this way? I'm going to be honest with you, I had to Google that one because I didn't even know what it meant. I don't give two turkey shits about government or politics or anything that goes on with it, but from what I could gather from my Google research was that it's the government paid healthcare in exchange for higher taxes. I honestly can't give you a real educated answer. I don't want to just come out and say it's good or it sucks without knowing what I'm talking about, because I'll just look like an idiot. But I do think we should have free healthcare because if it's an emergency, but honestly that's all I'm gonna give you on that, because I don't want to end up looking like a retard. Because yeah, call me an idiot, but I've said I'm not a really profoundly intelligent person and I don't care about government or whatever the government does. SK Knight has a few questions, so he says, first question, SK Knight 8046, sorry, forgot to read his full name. I chat to him, so I just call him S Knight, fuck. So first he asks, what is your favourite video game? That's a good one. At the moment my favourite games are stuff like Far Cry 3 and Halo 4 and you know, those games. Not so much Black Ops 2, I've grown out of that, even though I did hammer it at the start when it first came out, but it's pretty generic. Anyway, if I had to pick a game that I've always loved ever since I got it, it'd probably be Pokemon Gold. Well, I'll go get it. I'll go get my old Game Boy Advance and I'm gonna grab it. I used to play this game so much as a kid. Can't believe this old thing still works. Hang on. I'm just gonna switch it on. Oh, it didn't make the noise. Shit. It's pretty old and broken, but you can't see. It's a piece of crap, but fucking, I love that game. It was basically the first video game I ever experienced. I got it when I was about 5 or something, and I still have that same copy to this day. And I played it. I loved it. I've played through this game so many times. I've probably put over 100 hours into it. I mean, games will come and games will go, but I've always loved this game forever, and it'll probably always be my favourite, unless something brutally amazing comes out. But this game was part of my childhood. I absolutely loved it. Which leads into his next question. What is your favourite Pokemon? Which leads from Pokemon Gold. The first Pokemon I ever got to level 100, as a matter of fact, which was Typhlosion. My favourite Pokemon was, and will always be Typhlosion, probably because I don't really get the new Pokemon games. People say they're good, but I don't know, I'm just not that into DS anymore, and I don't want to get fucking 3DS because I think they're stupid. But anyway, Typhlosion, because I didn't play for beating the game. I didn't really understand the concept of beating the game as a little kid. I just went through training and capturing Pokemon. So I got Typhlosion to level 100 before I was like even got to the Pokemon League. I only had like 6 gym badges or something. So I just went around killing Pokemon and stuff, and I was too dumb to go and play through the game. But yeah, I was always obsessed with fire and fire Pokemon, so of course I picked Cyndaquil, and I still love fire Pokemon. Fire Pokemon are my favourite type, and oh god, I just love this Pokemon so much. It will always be number 1. Now he leads into some really good questions. He says, if you could meet anyone on YouTube in real life, who would you like it to be? I'm going to say 2 people. I'm not going to say any of these ranters like PM Rants or Cameo Bands, because I'm huge fans of them, but I probably wouldn't be able to hold a conversation with half of these people, because I'm just a dumbass. But so, if I could pick 2 people, I'm just going to pick it due to interest. I'd love to hang out with the guys from Corridor Digital. I'd just like to, not so much hang out with them or meet them, but just to watch them make a video, just hang out with them while they do that, see how they make all these special effects stuff. I know they have behind the scenes videos, but it'd be cool to actually be there. I know I haven't really thought about this hard enough, but I just thought that'd be something really cool, because I've always been into editing and special effects and things like that. The second person, Lohanthony. So I could just punch him in the face. The things I would yell at that boy, you don't even want to know. Seriously, I think I'd love to meet him just to yell at him for being such a piece of shit YouTuber. Then he says, if you had a time machine, where would you go or avoid? For places where to go, there's many places in time, but as you saw in one of my earlier videos, I'd probably go to the 90s. I don't know what part, but probably just start in the 90s and live through it. I think, because I always said I wish I grew up there, I wanted to see what it was like, watch all the 90s cartoons, play all the video games on the Nintendo 64 or whatever game consoles were around in that day, and listen to all that good shit music, not this fucking pop. I know there was probably littered with pop garbage back then too, but it can't have been this bad. So yeah, that's probably the place I'd go. I know I'm not being very imaginative, but place to avoid. I'd like to go to the really, really distant future, but I would definitely avoid the not so distant future, like 5, 10, 20 years from now, where the state of music and shit will have devolved to even crappier and everyone's walking around with a swag fag. Like, I want to avoid the whole swag fag phase until it's over, because it will be over. All this YOLO shit, it'll end in like 10 years, so I think either the 90s or maybe the distant future, so this swag fag shit is over. But the thing is, I don't know what the future holds, so maybe that wouldn't be a great idea. Fifth and finally, he asks, if you could assassinate any celebrity, who would it be? Kim Kardashian. That is all. Swift10101 asks, how do you get the courage to film yourself? For me, it was never really about courage. Like I said, I've had channels for like 5 years, and I just liked being on TV or being on camera. I just liked putting myself out there, even if I had nothing interesting to do or say. I've always just been a bit of a fame or camera whore. I think you don't need courage. If you have a passion for what you're doing, then just do it. Because I never really cared what people thought of me, and I still don't. I mean, I'm still getting fat jokes and shit, and I don't know why people keep making fat jokes, because I really don't care. Because I guess that's why people think I need courage to show myself on camera, but it's really never been a problem for me. I've always loved the internet and being on the internet, being a part of it, and yeah, I've always been a camera whore. And my number one tip, just if you want to make videos, just go for it. Don't give two shits what people are going to think of you. If you enjoy it, just do it. If your videos are smack bang fucking awful, well, I'm not going to watch them, but who cares? If you like doing it, just do it. Don't care what people are going to think of you. Don't make it about courage. Just think there's no one there. I'm just pretty much talking to myself here, and it feels good. Why am I clapping so much? But yeah, just don't think about courage. If you really enjoy it, just do it. Luke Byrne asks a few questions. First, he says, describe your friends. Are they intelligent? Are they the majority of this generation? And what do you think of them? That's a good one. I've talked about this with people, and I have a really wide variety of friends. Like, they're not all the same. They're not all nerds. I don't really have any people who are that bad this generation. Most of my friends do enjoy the shitty pop music and stuff like that, but I don't really have any douchebag friends. There's like the few nerds, but most of us are just gamer kids. Although some of them are cool kids, or... For me, I'm a popular person. I'm not one of these cool kids who everybody loves and follows around because he's a swag fag or something, but I've always been likable. I've never really had enemies. Back in primary school, I really liked it in primary school because everyone was an equal. Sure, there were like the cool group and the nerdy group, but the cool group wasn't like above the nerdy group. They weren't seen as lesser people. Everyone was just equal, and we all hung out as friends together. I wish high school was still like that. Now it's full of all this cliquey bullshit. But yeah, as I was saying, I have a really wide variety of friends. Everyone, call me a dick to say that, but I guess I'm just a likable person. But yeah, we're mostly just the gamer kids, not nerds, kind of the in-betweeners, you know. Luke also says, I and many others would like to produce YouTube videos sometime. Could you give any tips, especially on ranting, as I have a large interest in doing so myself? I'm not the best person to ask for tips on ranting because I'm not a great ranter. I mean, I guess I'm good enough to have earned 400 subscribers, but I'm not one of these smart people who can just talk super easily. Although, I think I'm pretty good at talking without stuttering now. I'm getting a lot better at that, but anyway. My number one tip for making videos, as I said before with Swift's question, don't worry about what people think of you. If I was worried about my body image, if I was worried people were going to call me fat, this channel would have never happened. Just get on there and speak your mind. Tips could be, plan out what you're going to say. Don't fully script it. Well, you can script it if you like, but I scripted my first video and I just feel that it lacked passion. When I started making rants that I didn't script, I spoke a lot more fiercely and passionately. So plan out what you say, plan at beginning, middle and end. Well, not that I really plan, but it will help you out a bit. But I advise not to script your whole video, because if you're speaking from the heart, it's a lot more believable and a lot more passionate. I script my countdowns and stuff because I'm just talking over a mic, but all my other rants, except my first one, the fanboy one, are just me talking. And don't be afraid to cut every now and then, but whatever you do, don't jump cut every 5 seconds. I will hate you. I hate jump cuts so much. Cut after, like, talk for like 20-30 seconds, but don't jump cut every syllable, please, please, please. And he also asked who inspired me to make videos, but I've already covered that. And he asked who supported or supports you in making these. Friends, family, other YouTubers. Well, I don't really have anything going with other YouTubers at the moment. I'm sort of my own person at the moment because I'm fairly small. But my friends, I get a lot of support from my friends. A lot of people I've talked to who want to make rants say they don't want to, because if their friends found out they even watched rants, then they'd get called a nerd and shit. And that's stupid. If they're real friends, they'll support you whatever you do. I've been getting loads of good feedback. Random people I never really talked to are messaging me on Facebook and saying, hey, I'm really liking your videos, man, keep it up. And I'm getting an overwhelming amount of support. Mad Brony Supreme asks, I wanted to know, what is your take on role models? Who does and does not belong? And how do they differ from role models in the 90s and early 2000s? As I say a lot, I am my own person. I was never really inspired by people. I don't even remember looking up to anyone as a little kid. I'm sure I would have, but I'm sure I would have, but I don't remember overly being inspired or looking up to anyone. I guess I'm inspired by filmmakers and other YouTubers and stuff like that, but here's my take on what a role model should and should not be. Nicki Minaj should not be a fucking role model. Because I've heard this. I've heard people say she's a role model for little girls, which is horse shit. People are looking up to these people like Justin Bieber and all these crappy celebrities as role models. They represent drinking, sex, partying, and everything wrong with our culture. These people should not be looked up to as role models. Little 10, 12-year-old kids should be looking up to people like policemen, firemen, and paramedics and stuff like that. People who are actually making a difference in the world. Not just these shitty celebrities who they look up to because they're famous or because they're hot. I'm getting into a rant mode here, sorry, but yeah, that's my take on role models. The VG Vlogger has 3 questions, but I've already covered 2 of them, so I'm just going to answer his first one. What is your favourite series of video games, if you have one? If I had to pick a favourite series, I could probably say 2. I love a lot of games, but one series that I often play through, probably one of them would be Pokemon. Pokemon was a lot of my childhood. I was a massive Pokemon nerd. And a lot would probably have to be Halo. Not that I've played all Halo 1, 2 and stuff. I didn't even enjoy Halo Reach all that much, but Halo 3 and 4 are probably 2 of my favourite games of all time. Up there with Pokemon Gold. Yeah, my favourite games of all time were Pokemon Gold, Far Cry 3, Halo 4, stuff like that, but yeah, my favourite series would have to be Halo. Call me too mainstream. Just be glad I didn't say Call of Duty, because that series has gone stale as fuck. But yeah, Halo 4 was probably my favourite game of the year, and I hope they keep on releasing this shit. Not that I play the campaigns overly. I'm not much of a campaign person, except for games where the campaign is actually the major part of the game, with games like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and stuff like that. But yeah, Halo, I just love the multiplayer. When I first got that game, I sat there playing it for hours. So Pokemon and Halo, probably my 2 favourite video game series.